Earth, fire, air, water.
The introduction by man directly or indirectly of substance or energy into the marine environment, including estuaries, resulting in such deleterious effect as harm to living resources, hazards to human health, hindrance to marine activities including fishing, impairment of quality for use of seawater, and reduction of amenities. Water is one of the most important resources on our planet. However, despite its importance, water is also a finite resource, and many parts of the world are facing water shortage due to climate change, overuse, and pollution. Water pollution can be defined in many ways. Usually, it means one or more substances have built up in water to such an extent that they cause problems for animals or people.
Urbanization and population growth are the most often cited as the major factors applying stress on available water in the world. Irrigation is the largest consumptive use of water in the United States, especially in the West. Freshwater consumptively used for irrigation in the United States during 1995. 86% was used in western states. Of the 134 million gallons of water per day withdrawn for irrigation, 19% was lost by conveyance, 61% was consumptively used, and 20% was returned to the surface or groundwater supplies. California accounts for the largest consumptive use because it has the largest withdrawal of water irrigation. When irrigated, agricultural lands are retrieved by home construction. A net reduction in consumptive use of water can be achieved except for evaporation, losses from lawns, gardens, and swimming pools. Most of the water used by a household is not consumptively used, but rather is returned on stream aquifers, albeit possibly diminished in quality. And as for the Philippines, we are also experiencing water crisis in our country. Last March 24, 2023, President Marcos has signed an executive order creating a Water Resource Management Office, or WRMO, as part of efforts to address what he called a water crisis, threatening the country. Last month, Marcos approved the creation of a Water Resource Management Office to ensure sufficient water supply in the country and to address environmental challenges. He cited the need for a plan that would serve as a roadmap for agencies involved in water management. Earth's water is approximately about 71% of Earth's surface is covered by water, with the ocean holding approximately 96.5% of the Earth's water. Water is a vital resource for life, playing an essential role in a range of natural processes, including photosynthesis, weather patterns, and nutrient cycles. Water never sits still. Thanks to that we call water cycle, our planet's water supply is constant state of flux, moving from one place to another and from one form to another. The water cycle, also known as the hydraulic cycle, involves the continuous movement of water between the atmosphere, the oceans, the land, and the biosphere. The cycle is driven by a solar energy which hits the Earth's surface and causes evaporation, leading to the formation of water vapor in the atmosphere. This water vapor then condenses to form clouds, which releases precipitation in the form of snow or rain. Some of this precipitation is stored on the land in the form of rivers, lakes, and groundwater, while the rest runs off in the ocean. Without the water cycle, the Earth's water supply would be stagnant, leading to disastrous consequences for life on our planet. The movement of water helps to distribute nutrients and sustain life across different regions of the planet, ensuring that all living beings have the access to water they need to survive. Additionally, the water cycle plays a crucial role in regulating the Earth's climate, helping to maintain a stable temperature range that supports a diverse range of ecosystems. In conclusion, the water cycle is a fundamental process that helps to sustain life on Earth. Understanding the water cycle and the importance of conserving water resources is essential for ensuring sustainable future for ourselves and the future generations. Imagine if we would focus our collective intelligence, resources, skills, and accumulated wisdom on the uncompromising healing of our planetary waters and water cycle, working together to ensure that all humans and animals have guaranteed access to natural, uncontaminated water. The World Water Law invites all humanity to hold each other and every organization, business sectors, and government fully accountable for our impact on water. Ultimately, the World Water Law activates a whole system healing intervention that addresses many of the root causes of our global challenges. The Water Law requires, first, the uncompromising protection and restoration of all water resources, watersheds, aquifers, rivers, lakes, wetlands, and oceans. Second, the rewilding of ecosystem necessary for restoration of the planetary water cycle. Third, the guaranteed free access of all humans and animals to natural, uncontaminated water. Fourth, all governments, corporations, communities, and individuals are held fully accountable for their impact on all water everywhere. This one law serves a unifying foundation of all governments and citizens to work together with community-led wisdom and stewardship councils in ways that effectively serve the health and vitality of the whole. This global initiative honors the people around the world who have dedicated their lives to the protection and reservoirs of water on behalf of all the life.
Just content with me next to you.
Protecting our water is a thing that all inhabitants of this world are tasked to do. Water pollution is a global crisis that we must all take seriously, because every day, our action contributes to the contamination of our water, and the consequences can be devastating. The World Health Organization, also known as WHO, says that polluted water is water whose composition has been changed to the extent that it is unusable. In other words, it is toxic water that cannot be drunk or used for essential purposes like agriculture, and which can also cause diseases like diarrhea, cholera, and typhoid that can kill more than 500,000 people worldwide every year. Water pollution is a contamination of water sources by substances that can destroy the ecosystem in the body of water. It can be caused by a variety of human activities, including industrial and agricultural processes, sewage discharge, and improper waste disposal. Many regions or countries are fighting water pollution around the world to prevent the beauty and important resources that water provides us. Countries are making laws to protect water from pollution before it can even become a big problem. Many of the laws that have been created to fight water pollution in the Philippines is the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004 and the Presidential Decree numbered 424 of March 28, 1974, which both are created to prevent and to regulate water in the Philippines. It aims to protect and conserve the country's water resources by preventing and controlling water pollution. There are many types of water pollution, such as pathogenic microorganisms, fertilizers and plant nutrients, toxic chemicals, sediments, heat, petroleum, and radioactive substances. Many of the causes of water pollution are the activities that humans have made, with or without knowing the consequences or impact that it can make, causing disastrous damage to our water resources. Many of us are doing something that can cause water pollution, such as throwing plastic bags and throwing substances like used car oils. Little things can be dangerous if not prevented, because a small plastic in our water resources can be dangerous if it all adds up. There are simple steps we can take to help reduce water pollution, such as using reusable products, properly disposing of waste, and conserving water are effective ways of making a difference. Water pollution can also affect humans in many ways. It can have significant impact on both humans' health and the environment. It can lead to the spread of waterborne diseases, harm aquatic life, and degrade the quality of drinking water. So protecting our water from contamination is a given thing that any of us should be willing to do, instead of doing nothing to prevent water pollution and being an irresponsible human being. There are a lot of water bodies around the world that have a very important role in our environment, and of course, in our human lives too.
Nowadays, among the most significant instruments regarding the specific matter of pollution from ship, aircraft, and land-based source are the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ship 1973 as modified by the Protocol of 1978, known as the MARPOL 73/78. The Convention for the Prevention of Marine Pollution by Dumping Waste and Other Matters, 1972, known as the London Convention. The Convention for the Prevention of Marine Pollution by Dumping from Ship and Aircraft, 1972, known as the Oslo Convention. The main international convention covering prevention of pollution of the marine environment by ship from operational or accidental causes. Its objective is to promote the effective control of all sources of marine pollution and to take all practicable steps to prevent pollution of the sea by dumping of waste and other matter. Marine pollution is a growing problem in today's world. Our ocean is being flooded with two main types of pollution, chemicals and trash. Chemical contamination or nutrient pollution is concerning for health, environmental, and economic reasons. This type of pollution occurs when human activities, notably the use of fertilizer on farm, lead to the runoff of chemicals into waterways that ultimately flow into the ocean. The increased concentration of chemicals such as nitrogen and phosphorus in the coastal ocean promotes the growth of algal blooms, which can be toxic to wildlife and harmful to humans. The negative effects on health and the environment caused by algal blooms hurt local fishing and tourism industries. Marine trash encompasses all manufactured products, most of them plastic, that end up in the ocean. Littering, storm winds, and poor waste management all contribute to the accumulation of these debris, 80% of which come from source on land. Common types of marine debris include various plastic items like shopping bags and beverage bottle, along with cigarette butts, bottle caps, food wraps, and fishing gear. Plastic waste is particularly problematic as a pollutant because it is long-lasting. Plastic items like hundreds of years to decompose. This trash poses dangers to both humans and animals. Solution for marine pollution include prevention and cleanup. Disposal and single-use plastic is abundantly used in today's society, from shopping bags to shipping packaging to plastic bottles. Changing society approach to plastic use will be a long and economically challenging process. This trash poses dangers to both humans and animals. Solution for marine pollution include prevention and cleanup. Disposal and single-use plastic is abundantly used in today's society, from shopping bags to shipping packaging to plastic bottles. Changing society approach to plastic use will be a long and economically challenging process. Cleanup, in contrast, may be impossible for some items. Many types of debris, including some plastics, do not float, so they are lost deep in the ocean. Plastic that do float tend to collect in large patches in ocean carries. The Pacific garbage patch is one Example of such a collection with plastics and microplastic floating on and below the surface of swirling ocean. Nonetheless, many countries are taking action. According to a 2018 report from the United Nations, more than 60 countries have enacted regulation to limit or ban the use of disposable plastic items.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Marine water. Marine water is salt water that can be found in oceans, seas, and other bodies of water that are connected to the oceans. It covers over 70% of Earth's surface and plays a critical role in regulating the planet's climate and supporting life. Marine water is a home to a vast array of plants and animals, from microscopic plankton to large waves. The Earth is covered with most two-thirds of its portion. Ocean water plays a very important role in maintaining our ecology. Not only does it maintain the ecology, but ocean also have many uses that make them one of the most important part of mankind's life. Marine water provides human with important resources such as fish, seafood, and many other resources. Marine water is also a act of root for global trade. Marine water is a important part of ecology, and humans have distributed it by polluting the oceans. We continuously contaminating the seawater by releasing various type of waste from source of industrial waste, agricultural waste, oil spill, ocean mining, and etc. There are various species of plants and animals that live in the seawater and are affected by the marine pollution. Imbalances in the ecology cause various diseases in aquatic animal and humans, which are dangerous to all of us and to the environment. Preventing anything that can cause harm is always better than trying to cure the damage afterwards. Therefore, we all need to work together to prevent marine pollution. Marine life is an essential part of our ecosystem, and it's everyone's responsibility to protect marine animals and natural resources. There are other types of water bodies, just like marine water, that face water pollution, and many of these factors stem from human activity. Marine pollution is a combination of chemicals and trash, most of which comes from the large land sources and is washed to blown into the ocean. This pollution result of damage to the environment, to the health of all organisms, and to economic structure worldwide.
Many live without love, but no one is without water. It is vital for life, supporting ecosystems and human civilizations, and one of the most basic needs for any living being to survive. Fresh water. Fresh water is renewable, but it is finite in resources. Only about 3% of Earth's water is fresh waters, and only about 1.2% of them can be used as drinking waters. The rest is locked up in glaciers and ice caps. Fresh waters can be found in glaciers, lakes, reservoirs, ponds, rivers, streams, wetland, and even groundwater. Fresh water is an important resource for many lives to survive. It provides drinking waters, supporting agriculture and industry, and serve as a critical habitat for aquatic and terrestrial organisms. But unfortunately, it is also one of the scarcest and most polluted resources due to the trash that humans produce. Freshwater resources are facing a range of challenges, including pollutions, overuse, and climate change. And that is not all. Here we are, humans, one of the biggest contributors when it comes to pollutions. Human activities such as industrial and agricultural practices, sewage discharge, and urban developments can have harmful effects on freshwater ecosystems. These pollutions have devastating effects on the environments and the living organism that depends on freshwater sources, such as lakes, rivers, and groundwaters. One of the devastating effects is the contaminations of fresh waters, which can lead to waterborne diseases that will affect food chains and cause harm to aquatic and land animals. According to United Nations Environmental Program, around the world, approximately 2 billion tons of human waste are disposed of in waterways every day. Severe organic pollutions already affects about 1/7 of all rivers, stretches in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, and has been steadily increasing for years. All these pollutions has significant health impacts on both environments and humans. Around 4,000 children die every day from diseases caused by polluted waters and inadequate sanitations. And each year, approximately 1.8 million people, mostly children, are killed by diarrhea alone. Other than that, the impact on wildlife can also be severe. It increases discharges of untreated sewage, combined with the runoff of fertilizers and other chemicals into freshwater bodies that can trigger pathogens and chemicals and nutrient pollutions. This, in turn, leads to an overgrowth of plant life that starve fish and other animals of oxygen. As those issues and challenges of freshwaters will spread rapidly and are not controlled properly, it will lead to more severe problems in the near futures. That is why it is important for us to take responsibility for our actions and make efforts to reduce our impacts on freshwater resources. Just like implementing sustainable practices and reducing waste production. This will help us to preserve the quality of fresh waters for the current and futures, not just for humans, but for all living things in this world. Overall, the improper disposal of human waste in waterways has far-reaching devastating consequences for both environments and human health. It is crucial that we take steps to address these issues by implementing better waste management practices and promoting the responsible use of natural resources to help preserve our ecosystem for future generations.
By making effort in conservation, we can reduce water waste, promote sustainable water use, and protect the quality and quantity of available water resources. Water conservation is important for ensuring that our water resources are available and sustainable for future generations, as well as protecting the ecosystems that depend on them. Understanding the importance of conserving water resources and preventing them from being destroyed as duty that everyone on this planet should do before it became unrepairable and usable for everyone. A lot of articles that show the problem that the water pollution has caused in our environment. An example of this is the problem in Manila, where polluted water has been blamed for the catchment basin of floodwaters in city of Pasig. Water pollution in Pasig City is a significant issue that has been affecting the health and well-being of residents, as well as the aquatic ecosystem in the area. The Pasig River, which runs through the city, has long been regarded as one of the most polluted rivers in the world, with high levels of fecal coliform, toxic chemicals, and other contaminants. One of the primary sources of water pollution in Pasig City is untreated sewage and wastewater, which are discharged into the river by households, industries, and commercial establishments. The lack of proper sewage treatment facilities and infrastructure has exacerbated in the problem, leading to the accumulation of pollutants in the river and the surrounding water bodies. In addition to sewage and wastewater, other sources of water pollution in Pasig City include industrial influence, agricultural runoff, and solid waste disposal. These pollutants can cause a range of health problems for people who came into contact with contaminated water, including skin infection, gastrointestinal illness, and respiratory problems. The government and various organizations have taken steps to address water pollution in Pasig City, including the implementation of stricter regulations on industries and commercial establishments, the construction of wastewater treatment plants, and the promotion of public awareness and educational on proper waste disposal and sanitation practices. However, much work remains to be done to fully address the problem and restore the health of the Pasig River, its surrounding ecosystem. Water pollution is a serious environment issue that affects many countries, including Nigeria and Pakistan. Both countries are facing significant challenges in managing their water resources and ensuring access to clean and safe water for their citizens. In Nigeria, water pollution is a major concern due to a range of factors, including oil spills, agricultural runoff, and industrial discharge. The Niger Delta region, where much of Nigeria's oil is extracted, has been particularly affected by oil pollution, which has contaminated the water and soil, resulting in significant health risks for local communities. Additionally, untreated sewage and other wastes are often dumped directly into rivers and other water bodies, leading to further contamination. In Pakistan, water pollution is also a significant problem, with much of the country's water supply contaminated by sewage, agricultural runoff, and industrial discharge. According to the report by the World Health Organization, or WHO, around 60% of Pakistan's population does not have access to safe drinking water, and waterborne diseases are a major public health concern. The country's rivers, including the Indus and the Ganges, are heavily polluted with high level of toxic chemicals and heavy metals. Both Nigeria and Pakistan are taking steps to address water pollution, but progress has been slow due to a range of factors, including weak environmental regulations, inadequate infrastructures, and limited resources. International aid and cooperation are also needed to support efforts to improve water quality and ensure access to clean and safe water for all. Water conservation is important for several reasons. First, preserving natural resources. Water is a precious natural resource that is essential for all life forms. By conserving water, we can help ensure that there is enough water available for future generations and for the ecosystem to function properly. Saving money. Conserving water can help reduce the amount of money spent on water bills. By using water wisely, we can reduce the amount of water we use, which can which can lower our monthly water bills. Third is protecting the environment. Water conservation can help protect the environment by reducing the amount of water that needs to be extracted from natural resources such as rivers, lakes, and groundwaters. This in turn can help protect aquatic ecosystems and reduce the amount of energy needed to treat and transport water. And lastly, mitigating drought. Droughts are becoming more frequently and severe in many parts of the world. By conserving water, we can help mitigate the effects of drought by ensuring that there is enough water available for essential uses such as drinking, agriculture, and firefighting. Overall, water conservation is important because it helps us protect our natural resources, save money, protect the environment, and mitigate the effects of drought.
Philippine government have issued many laws and prevention in this water pollution problem that is happening, like the Presidential Decree number 1067 of 1976, a decree instituting a water code, hereby revising and consolidating the laws governing the ownership, appropriation, utilization, exploitation, development, conservation, and protection of water resources. So, what is objective of Presidential Decree 1067? In short, Water Code of the Philippines. So, first is to provide the fundamental guidelines and structure for the appropriation, management, and the conservation of water resources to maximize their development and sensible use. Second, to specify the scope of the rights and responsibilities of water owners and users, including the safeguarding and control of such rights. Third, to pass the fundamental law controlling the allocation, ownership, use, development, conservation, and protection of water resources and the land rights associated with them. And lastly, to list the administrative bodies responsible for the enforcing of this code. So, how does the Presidential Decree 1067 helps? It helps because of the implementation of Presidential Decree 1067 in our country in 1976, it protect and preserve all the types of bodies of water that we have benefited from, then up until now. Maybe if it is not implemented, we will be like other countries that we do not care about water preservation and only care about what they can get, not paying attention to the ones who gives that natural resources. So, what is the importance of Presidential Decree 1067? The Water Code of the Philippines is created to ensure the security of the Philippine waters and their maximum usage to benefit the Filipino people. Everyone can help in maintaining clean water, help prevention water pollution. Water pollution can come from any of the following. So first is urban development, sewage and wastewater, mining, marine dumping, oil leakage, burning of fossil fuels, agriculture, chemical fertilizer and pesticides, sewer leakage, global warming, radioactive waste, animal waste, purification, and acid rain.
Sa iyong unang katanungan, ano ang masamang naidudulot ng mga basura sa Candy Falls?
Ang masamang maidudulot ng mga basura sa Candy Falls ay maaaring makaapekto ito sa pagbara sa ating mga kanal.
Sa inyong pangalawang katanungan, sa iyong palagay, May iwasan ba nating mga tao ang pagtatapon ng basura dito? At bakit?
Oo, sa pamamagitan ng paglalagay ng mga basura at babala na dapat itapon sa tamang basurahan ang mga basura.
Sa iyong pangatlong katanungan, ano ang mga hakbang na maaari mong gawin upang maiwasan ito?
Una, sa aking palagay ay ang paglalagay ng basura sa mga paligid at lalong-lalo na sa kanto.
Sa number 4 naman, sa iyong sagot sa number 3, ano ang ikakaganda nitong hakbang na ito sa commuters?
Ang ikakaganda nito ay may iwasan ng mga tao na ibato or ibasura na lang kung saan-saan ang basura.
Sa inyong sa last question mo, bakit nagkakaroon ng water pollution?
Dahil sa mga basura at sa mga taong walang disiplina sa sarili.
Cause of water pollution and solution. Fresh water pollution originates from many sources, including municipal, industrial, and agricultural waste. Wastewater and nutrient runoff power generation, heavy industry, automobiles, and other water pollution has damaging effects on the environment, humans, plants, and animals. Pollution cannot cure if your business discharges substances into surface waters or groundwater without prior treatment or by accident or after ice spill. Main causes of water pollution. It is sometimes caused by nature, such as when mercury filters from the Earth's crust, polluting oceans, rivers, lakes, canals, and reservoirs. However, the most common cause of the poor quality water is human activity and its consequences, which we will now go on to explain. First, global warming. Rising global temperatures caused by CO2 emissions heat the water, reducing its oxygen content. Second, deforestation. Felling forests can exhaust water resources and generate organic residue, which becomes a breeding ground for harmful bacteria industry. Third, agricultural and livestock farming. Chemical dumping from these sectors is one of the main causes of eutrophication of water rubbish and fecal water dumping. The UN says that more than 80% of the world's sewage finds its way into seas and rivers untreated. Fourth, maritime traffic. Much of the plastic pollution in the ocean comes from fishing boats, tankers, and cargo shipping. And last, fuel spillages. The transportation and storage of oil and its derivatives is subject to leakage that pollutes our water resources. The prevention of water pollution. Half of the world's inhabitants will live in the water-scarce areas by 2025, so every drop of polluted water today is an irreparable loss for tomorrow. That's why we must prevent water pollution with measures like the following. Number 1. Reduce CO2 emissions to prevent global warming and acidification of the oceans. 2. Reduce and safely treat wastewater so that, as well as not polluting, it can be reused for irrigation and energy production. 3. Reduce and safely treat wastewater so that, as well as not polluting, it can be reused for irrigation and energy production. Number 4. Restrict the use of the single-use plastics that end up floating in rivers, lakes, oceans, many as microplastics. 5. Encourage sustainable fishing to ensure the survival of species and avoid depletion of the seas. The best solution to prevent water pollution is to stop it at the source. Luckily, there are many solutions in reducing water pollution, such as wastewater treatments, stormwater management, and water conservation. wastewater treatment, reducing plastic waste, water conservation, water-efficient toilets, septic tanks, do not use the toilet as a trash bin, stormwater management, green agriculture and wetlands, denitrification, and last, ozone wastewater treatment.
There are a lot of ways to prevent water pollution from happening. The major solution to small effort that anyone can do. Water pollution can cause harm ranging from minor impacts on our lives to disastrous consequences for the environment that can take years to rectify. Pollution is a major problem in our world, where every little thing that humans fail to dispose of or understand can lead pollution that is much bigger than the original problem. Trying to understand the impact of our actions and changing the way we do things can make a big difference and help us preserve clean water instead of having too much pollution in our water, which can lead to many problems in our lives. Instead of doing nothing, why not make some effort to protect the environment from pollution? Small efforts can make a big difference if we all put the effort together. We all should try our best to prevent water pollution from our water resources. Because if marine water is full of pollution, the food that we can harvest from it will become less and it will become dangerous for consumption, and we will have a hard time to using the marine water as a way for our boat to trade the goods and in other countries too if the marine water is polluted with trash and other things that can cause destruction. And we all should try our best to prevent pollution from reaching our supply of fresh water. Because without fresh water to drink, the life of anyone will become much harder and could even lead to the death of others. We can make a difference by following this important measure to prevent pollution. Because if we don't move to change things as they are, they will only be waiting for the worst that can happen. Making changes to how we handle our trash can make a big impact on the possible pollution to our water resources. Conserving water to make sure not a small drop of it can be wasted is also one of the many things that a human can make to prevent our water resources to deplete and for us to use water for generations to come. Life is ultimately about choices, and so is water pollution. We cannot live with the sewage-strong beaches, contaminated rivers, and fish that are poisonous to drink and to eat. To avoid these scenarios, we can work together to keep our rivers and seas cleaner. And we can act as countries and continents to pass laws against the water pollution. Working together, we can make water pollution less of a problem and the world a better place. You can join in organizations that work for the conservation of marine culture from pollution to make the world a little less polluted. Thank you.